Good midday, good midday, good midday. We pray all is well with you and everybody in your sphere of relationships, and that God is showing his favor even in moments when it appears that he might be distant. We are so grateful to God for opportunity. And I think we have to look at that sometimes opportunity, that God makes available to us. That for the most part, we don't deserve, but he blesses us anyway. And I know I got somebody out here who can testify that you have been the recipient of some undeserved blessings. Jemison, bless you, sir, for being here with us. And that's so important. Pamela, how are you? And that's you always have to keep that at the forefront of your mind as you are moving through life. And there's a whole lot of things God does that you don't even know. So there ought to be some level of gratitude and gratefulness for the things that you are cognitive of. Nancy, Kathy, bless y'all for being here. That's important. That is so important, that we recognize his goodness and his grace. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. And Mercy. Hey, Lynn, how are you? Pray that you are coming along well and that you are staying out of trouble. And with that being said, we are thankful to God for you one and all. Thank you, Jemison, for sharing. And just glad you get. I need to do a little check in for just a second, because the struggle should be going on right now. Um, how you doing with your water? How are you doing with your meals? At the beginning, we was posting stuff like crazy, and then all of a sudden it kind of died off a little bit. But I just want to make sure that you are still being steadfast and unmovable. Christy, how are you? Good midday to you. We're glad that you are here with us and praying that all is well. Tell my partner I said hello. That's my guy. And so I'm grateful for you, Winnie Howard. Thank you so much for being a part of this moment. And we just continue to pray over and over again for his power and presence to rest in your life. Good, 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 good. Michelle White, how is you? Thank you so much for being here with us. How's mom doing? We've been in prayer for her, that God will sustain her and keep her. Good. Glad you're floating. Float on. Yes, float, float, float. Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me. And so, again, we're grateful to God. So please, 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 Sylvia Scott, how is you? Please, if you don't mind, if you don't mind, if you don't mind, if you don't mind, hit that share button, as some others have already done. Chaplain Hearns, how are you? Good to have you here with us. I don't know why that does that. That's an amazing thing. And so we're grateful to God for you, you one and all. All right. Good, 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 great. Fantabulous. Okay. Well, let me begin. Let me begin. And we saw two real good. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I have turned the corner, Chaplain, but I'm exhausted now. And but that's okay. That's good. Um, Due to the fact that I'm on my way, and I'm great. My doctor said it was going to happen like that, and I was like, I just need to. Well, I do realize that he knows more than me, but viruses. Well, whatever. He knew what he was talking about. It is much better. I'm not completely 100%, but I'm a whole lot better than what I was. Elder Pam, Wendy, thank y'all so much. Please share, please share. Hit the share button. And so yeah, I'm on my way. Somebody's going to be expecting me to preach on Sunday, so we're trying to do all we can to make sure that we are ready to roll on Sunday morning. We learn through Job and Paul's experiences that God has a way of taking the frustrations, the pains, the hurts, and by doing so, he brings us into an even more powerful relationship and fellowship with him. What do I mean by that? Carolyn, bless you for being here. He keeps us from getting beside ourselves. Erica, bless you, dear. He keeps us from, hey, Katrina, Elder Clay, he keeps us from exalting ourselves and placing ourselves in a position. Thank you so much, Janice, that all is well in Retorothea. Victor, Elder James, thank you for being here. Trinette, Cora, how you be? On your way to Detroit, praying for you. And we're believing that God is going to give you the traveling grace and mercy that you need to make it there safe. And tell the rest of the family, along with Anthony, you guys are in our prayers. Please be careful and safe. Charmaine, hello. How are you? How you be, Rosabelle? Thank you so much for being here with us. And so while we sit back and we complain about all this bad, could it be? And I say this every now and then, sometimes being blessed too much can also be dangerous, because there's always this tendency, this proclivity to say, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's me. Rhonda Fletcher, bless you. Maybe I got it going on like that. And it's not that, Ida, bless you, dear, for being here. It's not that you say it, but it can come across in your behavior. You can sit back and think you all of that. And so I believe, Bobby McKenzie, bless you, dear. I believe that God did the same thing in Job's situation as he did in Paul's. And so we see this clearly, that God has a way of buffering us. He has a way of taming the wild person that could erupt in us when we sometimes have the tendency of believing that it's been us and it's been him the whole time. Carletta, bless you, dear. Sister Thomas, thank you so much for being here with us. But then I got one more thing I want to talk about for a minute. And then the weekend is yours. Bless his holy name. Ayana, how y'all doing with your water? How you doing with your fasting? Minister Faye, this is the struggle time. This is when your body begins to fight back. This is when every commercial looks so good. It's when the stuff that you see on TV, and then I have the unmitigated gall to sit back and watch who can beat Bobby Flay and all of that. But the truth of the matter is, it honestly doesn't affect me. Once you've been doing this for a while, you can look at food, and but the struggle will be how you eat and what you eat. And so, you just gotta deal with that. And so I'm doing I'm modifying mine, not telling you what it is, not going to tell you what it is. That is something between me and the Lord that I'm doing, because I need to hear some things clearly. But there's a danger, my sisters and brothers, my brothers and sisters. There is a chicken is chased, Lord have mercy. Girl, that's because you the queen of fried chicken. See, because let me talk about this for just a moment, then I'm gonna get into the lesson. If this is where you are, then you are really fasting. Because you are actually, Bishop Moore, bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here with us. Listen to what I'm saying. You want an egg. See, we're in day 17. I believe it's day 17. And so now the body is beginning to turn in on itself. Even though you are drinking the water, you're eating the vegetables and fruit and all of that, it's because your body is saying, okay, that was nice for the first few days, but right now I want to revert back to what I'm accustomed to. Are you following what I'm saying? And so this is where the battle comes in. And so I had made it up in my mind that because I recognize, okay, are you headed there, my friend? I've made, and the thing about it is, Nancy, coffee hasn't even affected me. Not at all. Not at all. And y'all know I drink my coffee black. I drink iced coffee, no sweeteners, no nothing. Hasn't phased me. But what is phasing me is when psychologically I'm thinking I'm running out of things to eat. It's not that I'm running out of things to eat. It's that I'm tired of eating the same thing. Praying for your safe travels, my friend. I'm praying that God will show you that there is a plethora of things you can eat, but we have been so, Erica Forney, bless you for being here. We have been so accustomed to certain fried delicacies that now, as the system purges itself, it fights for what it's used to. That's how you know you're fasting. That's how Gaither, that's how you know the struggle is real. And here's the thing that you have to remember. We're not fasting like Moses or like Elijah or like Jesus because they ate and drank nothing. And if you remember, Sister Rains, bless you, dear. Thank you so much for being here. If you remember in the beginning stages, I would do just water. And many people tried to follow, but they don't understand how to do it appropriately. There's one other thing, and I know I'm taking up time from the lesson to talk about this. Barbara Harper, bless you for being here. Here's the thing that many of us don't understand. We also have to change how we do what we do. Why? Because we are becoming weaker. We have to learn to provide protein without the meat. And there's a whole, if you like mushrooms, listen, that's protein. If you like peanut butter, it has to be a certain kind. It cannot be that other peanut butter, but there's certain peanut butters that are natural, that don't have all those preservatives and stuff in it. That's protein. There are different things that you can do. There you go. Roasted vegetables. This all, but see, the problem is we are actually struggling with being functionally fixed, which means now at this particular time, there's only certain things we want to eat, certain things we like to eat, and we don't want to eat anything else. Natural peanut butter. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. It's natural peanut butter. You can have that. Apples. Listen, I just went out and bought 3 bags of Honey Crisp. You know why? You want real bread. But see, here's the thing. Unfiltered. Thank you. Unfiltered honey. You can have unfiltered honey because that's important. So because we've developed all of these habits, we've got to work with this. But let me get back to the lesson, okay? Minister Marcia, how are you? We got to be careful to make sure we don't play God. Okay. We got to make sure that we don't play God. What do I mean by that? Job's friends, and if you look at them, Zophar, Eliphaz, and Bildad showed up. And when they showed up, they made an assessment. And the assessment that they made is that it is impossible for someone to be in that position and not sin. Sometimes we better be careful that we don't play God, that we don't assume that when someone is going through a trial or going through that dry spell of unanswered prayer, that what they are experiencing or struggling with is connected to sin. First of all, they were wrong for accusing their friend of sin because, and remember, I talked about this in one of the earlier sessions, they only understood God by the limited understanding that they had, as well as Job. And you don't believe me? We talked about it the other day. Job said, I have heard of you, But now, after I've come on the other side of this situation and you've confronted me, now I see you. And seeing God is more than physical sight, but experiencing God. Oh, bless his name. And so it required Job to have some stuff shaved off of him. It required for Paul to have a thorn in his flesh to be applied to his existence, so that when he got ready to do ministry or got on the other side of the situation, he was more powerful, he was more confident, he was more assured, because it transformed and changed his walk with God. You can't tell me. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that when you're on the other side of it, that your perspective of God is totally different. And what you have to understand is that when you come across people who are struggling and going through different things, don't turn around and play God. Don't talk about, well, you must be something you did wrong. Yeah. What did you do lately? How did you act? You must be treating people. No. Because what you have done, I hope y'all ready for this, Sheila. What you have actually done is reinforced what they are already feeling or thinking in their mind. Now, can I take a couple of minutes to deal with this for just a second? Usually, when we go through something, the first person you attack is you. Whenever those moments of isolation or God appears to not be present, the first person you go after is you. You start blaming you. I know I had to do. I done did something wrong. I done said something wrong. I did. And you start doing these superficial examinations, and then you all of a sudden you start coming up with stuff that you honestly didn't do, but you said, oh, maybe this is a possibility that I did this, and because I did this, now God is punishing me. You know the difference between punishment and being tried. Oh, bless his holy name. That's the first person, Wendy. The first person you go after is you. And then here we come, the redeemed, the saints of God. And when we turn around and reinforce what's silently already going on inside of you, we then sink that person even deeper into not trusting God. And we too have forgotten that God has been gracious to us in the midst of the maddening moments that we participated in and God brought us out of. When somebody comes to you and says, I'm really struggling, I don't know what to do. It's not your job to play God. It's not your job to sit back and say, well, it must have been something you did wrong. All you have to do is say, tell me about it. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel about it. And then what can happen is that will open a different door than the door that will be shut by accusing them of some level of sin. They'll open up and they'll say, well, maybe, and it may not even be sin. It just may be that period of time that all of us go through when God appears to be silent. And then you can come along and reaffirm to them, in my silent moments, guess what I learned how to do? Y'all ready for this? Guess what? Are you ready? Are you ready? Guess what I learned how to do? I learned how to bless him in my silent moments. I learned how to extol him and magnify him even in my silent. I've learned how to give him glory in my silent moments, because I recognize God ain't going to be silent always. And so this is the thing that we've got to understand and to recognize. And so what we see here is you just need to sit back and talk to them. And if there is sin, don't act like you haven't. Yeah. Oh, y'all not catch. Don't act like you ain't never did nothing wrong. Butter don't melt in your mouth. Don't sit back there and look with that judgmental look of, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. You need to thank God he ain't yanked the cover off the stuff you did and are still doing. And so we gotta stop. That self-righteous judgment, forgetting that the same God that forgave you will forgive them, Pee-wee. I wish I had somebody. And so all you got to do is just say, let's talk about it. And then what you can do is you can lead them in understanding that God is a forgiving God. If they have messed up, God will forgive you. 1 John 1:9 says, if you confess your sins, he is faithful and just to forgive you and to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. And it must be more than a talking point. It must also be something that you are willing to reiterate, willing to share, willing to walk with them until they walk out of the thing that has them bound. Can't afford to find yourself manipulating people, controlling people, doing all of that madness with people. God didn't call you out of darkness into this marvelous light for you to be a manipulator. He called you out of darkness so you could be light and be salt. That wherever you come, you change the atmosphere and the flavor. But you can't do it when you have a pre-assumed notion that everybody's guilty. Because guess what? All of us are guilty, for we have all sinned and come short of the glory of God. So we have to be real careful about that, making sure that we don't place ourselves in the position of God. Because the same God that forgives you will forgive them. And let me help the self-righteous, the ones that act like they don't never mess up and you don't never do nothing wrong. You've missed the whole point. The whole point of an unanswered prayer could just be God is waiting on you to be in the appropriate position in order for him to bless you. And where you are right now, is not culpable or capable of handling what God wants to do. So he sends you through these moments of silence, these dry spells, these moments when sometimes we just don't have a clue what God is doing. But the one thing we should not be clueless of is the fact that God is still working on our behalf. Weeping may endure. I ran 3 minutes over. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy shows up in the morning. Listen, I want you to have a very powerful weekend. I want you to let the Spirit of God rule and rest in you. I want you to have a great couple of days. Weather's going to be a little crazy. Stuff's going to happen. Who cares? I belong to God. And so I'm praying for you. Thank you for your prayers. I'm on the other side of it. Locke Beecham Sr., thank you, sir, for being here. And so in the midst of all that we are doing and dealing with and whatever we're going through and all of that, I just want you to have a great day. I want you to know that our God is able to do above and beyond all we could ask or think. But how you live is predicated upon how you want to live. Because it's his good pleasure to give to you the keys to the kingdom. You need breakfast recipes? Anybody got some breakfast recipes other than the veggie stuff that you can get out of Giant Eagle? They got all kind of stuff. They got veggie eggs. They got veggie sausage. They got veggie, all of that kind of stuff. Listen. I'll probably be back on maybe later on to talk about a couple of things and to help us as we continue to move forward in what God would have us to do. Stay strong, okay? Don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you don't lose heart. See y'all 10 a.m. Sunday morning, 528 Lincoln Avenue. If you can't be there in person, show up on the Facebook pages, my page, Union's page, Union's website, Union's Facebook. I don't know what I said. So listen, or on YouTube. And let's just lift up the name of the Lord together. Love you with the love. Love you with the love of Jesus Christ, who dwells richly in each and every one of us. May God bless you. May he keep you is our prayer.